Dr. Zanala S. Samishev last saw these desolate highlands of eastern Kazakhstan in 1998, yet it is now the summer of 2018, and he has returned there. Archaeologist has been excavating kurgans, which are heaps of stone and soil associated with burials dating back more than 2,500 years. While Samishev and his team have made some stunning discoveries over the years, what they find this summer is utterly astonishing. Archaeologists found a 2,700-year-old tomb filled with a cache of startling remains. It was a people known as the Saka who had created the elaborate kurgans. It is thought that the Scythians and the Saka were closely associated with one another. The Scythians' origins and the Saka may be traced back to earlier peoples known as the Karasik and the Andronovo. The time of Karasik was approximately 3,500 years ago, and they lived in Eurasia. The Andronovo, on the other hand, inhabited Central Eurasia during the Bronze Age, which began around 4,000 years ago. The Karasik and the Andronovo peoples, along with the Saka, buried their dead in kurgans, one important archaeological site that has painted a picture of the Saka civilization lies in the Altai mountains in Siberia, not far from the Kazakh border. At this location, the first of a series of kurgans was discovered by the archaeologist gryasinov in 1929. These particular kurgans are now known as the pasiric burials, the princess of the Siberian icefield. During the late 1940s, the archaeologist Sarah Jerudenko excavated another 4 kurgans at the pasiric site. Even though 2 robbers had previously raided the graves, the researchers uncovered some fascinating artifacts. These finds included woven carpets, cloth saddles, and most spectacularly, a 4-wheeled chariot standing. The best known of the Saka discoveries at the pasiric site is the kurgan containing the mummified remains of the princess of Yukok. This mummy is known as the Siberian Ice Maiden, and it was excavated by the archaeologist Natalia Palazmak in 1993. The kurgan measures almost 10 feet tall and dates back to the 5th century BC. The Ice Lady and her tomb dated back more than 2,400 years and were kept by permafrost. The princess's remains were discovered in exceptional condition, and the complex tattoos that cover much of the Ice Maiden's remains are undoubtedly the most excellent characteristics of the Ice Maiden. These tattoos depict strange animals that merge into intricate floral patterns and are easily distinguishable. As we can see then, a range of discoveries have already taught us much about how the Saka once lived, but the finds keep on coming. And in 2018, Dr. Samishev and his team presented the archaeological community with yet another. When they made the discovery, the researchers had been working in the Tarbagatai Mountains, not far from Kazakhstan's border with China. When they made the discovery, the researchers had been working in the Tarbagata Tau teenagers. More specifically, the team was working in a valley on one of the approximately 200 kurgans discovered in the region. However, this particular kurgan was unique. Inside the burial site were the remains of 2 teenagers who lived around 2007 to 100 years ago, and judging by the grave goods that had been buried with them, these were not ordinary adolescents. Many valuable finds in this burial mound let us believe a man and a woman are buried there. The reigning persons belong to the elite of Saka society. Dr. Samishev is quoted as saying the 2 discoveries are the remains of some rather important figures. The kurgan's discoverer has undoubtedly suggested as much. Dr. Smash, the director of the Margulin Institute of Archaeology, claims that the 2 discoveries are the remains. When she passed away, the man could not have been older than 19. The young man was laid to rest with several weapons, including a dagger made from gold and bronze, a quiver covered in gold, and arrows with bronze tips. In addition, he was buried with torque, a type of necklace that is rigid and made from gold. Both victims were buried dressed in expensive attire and adorned with golden beads. An applique is an embellishment in which one material is used to cover another, and in this case, the appliques were in the shape of big antlered deer head caps. A place hiding treasures. While the young woman's grave had been looted at some point, the man's grave appeared undisturbed. Despite this, the graves were found to contain approximately 3,000 artifacts, many of which were made of gold. Samishev and his team discovered numerous jewelry pieces, including bell-shaped earrings and necklaces set with precious stones. The treasure trove also contained golden chains, plates, and plaques. The scientists also noted the skill level that must have gone into making these exquisite pieces, such as the golden bead that covered the teenagers' clothing. For instance, skilled artisans used sophisticated micro-soldering methods, and it is believed that employing such a refined technique would have been highly unusual for this era. The scientists concluded that such an advanced technique would have been unique for this era. Daniel Akhmetov, a politician and the former Prime Minister of Kazakhstan, is quoted in the Daily Mail as saying that these discoveries have a great significance for understanding the heritage of his country. Akhmetov is also quoted as saying that this find gives us a completely different view of the history of our people and that we are the heirs of great people and great technologies. Even though numerous kurgans have been robbed over the years, including several that were emptied during the time of Peter the Great, Tsar of Russia in the 19th century, there may be many more treasures from the ancient period of the Saka people that have yet to be unearthed. According to the Daily Mail, the prominent Kazakh archaeologist Yerban Aralbi was quoted as saying that there are a lot of burial mounds here and that the prospects are enormous. Additionally, as more evidence of the sophistication of the wandering Saka has been uncovered, a rethinking of attitudes towards historical nomads has been sparked in the article published in March 2012 in the New York Times, which addressed this very issue. According to the report, those who lived in settled communities looked down on nomads as back as the time of the ancient Greeks. However, modern archaeologists have been challenging this stereotype. The abundant riches found within Saka kurgans indicate that these people were far from inferior to city dwellers. The sophistication of their jewelry and their mastery of complex technologies calls for a re-evaluation of how they are perceived beyond considerations of their nomadic lifestyle. Graves points to the necessity of re-evaluating the situation. Thank you for watching, and please click the like and subscribe buttons.